channel for episode 2 of Chessformer, which is chess with gravity. So pieces basically move until they fall to hit the ground or the nearest platform. And in episode 1, we finished 18 levels. So we did 1 through 18. And in this episode, we will try to finish all of the remaining levels, 19 through 24. I have been told by many people that these levels are significantly harder, so even though there's less levels than there were in the previous episode, we still should have a pretty long video. So if you haven't watched episode 1 yet, then it will be the first link in the description, and you can go watch it. And if you have, then this is episode 2. Alright, with that, let's get straight into level 19. Okay, so level 19 has quite a lot of locks and keys. I think we saw this at the end of the last video. You saw a sneak peek of how this looks like. So here it is. We're gonna be playing it right now. I have a lot of questions about this level. Some of them are like, if you take a key, do you need to take all of the keys before the locks get unlocked, or is it just one? And also, if you take a key, do some of the locks get unlocked, or do all of them get unlocked? And like, how do these keys actually like benefit us? Like, if we take one, all the stuff is gonna get unlocked. Or do we need to take all of them before they get unlocked? I don't know, but we're gonna find out right now. Okay, so one key unlocks all of them. And if I take another one, then... oh, nothing happens? I thought something exciting was gonna happen, but apparently not. I'm just gonna take all the keys. Okay, well, nothing happens if you take all the... If you take the second, third, or fourth key. It's just one key opens them all up. Well, the first thing I noticed off the bat here is that if you take the key, you're basically done. Like, by done, I mean you can't win. So you have to restart, because the rook would never be able to get here. The bishop would never be able to get here through the diagonals. The king would never be able to get here unless he could, like, build a tower and the king got here, but that's impossible. And the rook would never be able to get here unless he also built a tower. So yeah, if you take all the keys, it looks like it's impossible. So basically, these keys are places that you can't take. So like, even if I go here, that still takes the keys. So I'm noticing that I guess the challenge here is to get the rook like here or here, and then take the king. But the question is, how do you get down here? Obviously I can go up here, but I can't take the key. Oh, I see. You would have to have the bishop or the king. Well, actually, wait, the king is kind of trapped here, because if it goes onto this column, then it's going to take this key, so we're going to lose. And it can go here, but then if it goes on this column, then it's also going to take a key. So this king is actually trapped onto these two columns, or like these two squares to be precise. Or I guess like 3 and 4, because like this, but you know what I mean. So basically it's up to the bishop to get over here to help the rook. Well, I see that this bishop can go here. And then maybe we move the king and we get the bishop here. Ah, and then it can escape. Right, but, oh, it gets stuck over here. Okay, well, I see that this rook can, like, go up down here. How does that help? Oh, wait. Maybe the bishop lands on top of the rook? Hold on. Let's bring this rook over immediately. Right, we're using these locks as, like, platforms. Basically these. And these are, like, I don't know, spikes. And you can't touch the spikes. That's what they refer to, basically, in this level. And what if we got the bishop on top of here? Well, then it would need to be here. How would that be possible? King here. Oh, there we go. And then bishop here? But then how to get across? Maybe we need to... Ah, there we go. And then we move the rook down here like this. And then we put the bishop on top. Clever. And then we bring the bishop down. And then these platforms are here conveniently to make sure the rook can, come on, get up here. And then we need to make sure we don't click the key, but instead we click on this square. And then come down here and take the king. That was a nice one. So basically it's like a spike. And you can't touch it. Okay, we seem to be introduced to a new concept. Getting introduced to a lot of new concepts in these last couple levels, to be honest. The lock and key, and now we have a purple square, and if I step on this purple, petal, then the square opens up. And if I don't, then it's closed. So it basically acts as a block, except when I click on this. Well, now the rook fell down, so let's not do that. So I can get the rook down here. I can get the key, which I'm pretty sure we're gonna need, because why else would it be there? And then I can get the king. Oh, but the king steps off the petal. Wait. Oh no, I have a terrible feeling about this. Just gone? Okay. R.I.P. Rook, I mean... okay. So if you put it on the thing and then you just step off, then it just disappears. Okay, let's just get the key and wait around. How would I get the king over here, but like... Oh, I see. I would have to press it with the rook. Ain't I? Yes, I have to press it with the rook, and then I get the king here. And then I would need the rook to be down here so that I can fall onto this square and then move up and take the king. So... I can't get the rook on that square unless it comes through here. Also, what are these platforms for? Like, obviously, if I move my king down here, it's just gonna get stuck. But why are there so many platforms in? Like, this one's 3. This one's also 3. This one's 1. Do they mean anything? I have no idea. Maybe it's just decoration. I don't know, but it seems like we should be able to use them. I mean, the rook can come here, but then it's just gonna fall down. Unless the king comes in to help. Oh! The king can help like this, and then it can fall here. But we don't care because we can just use it as a stepping stool and take the king. Very nice. Alright, level 21. So yeah, I'm guessing that if we take this, then yeah, all of them. Similar with the key. So I probably want to press this down and get the king here. And then I want to not press so that I can cross without falling into the void. And then I want to press again so that I can keep going. And I get the key. Now where do I want to go next? I mean, the thing I noticed right off the bat is that this king, you can't really get it with the king, right? Because, I mean, this is a knight distance away, but there's no, like, promoting pawns. So, you wouldn't be able to do that anyway. What I do see is that if the rook can't be on this row, but it can be here. And it can take the king because of this, whatever these are called, platforms. But for the rook to be here, how would it get there? It would have to be like here, and then go here and fall onto this purple platform, right? This would be a platform, and then go here. Oh, so the king would have to... Okay, so I see. The rook has to be up here like this, and then the king would have to step on here, let the rook go through. Wait a minute, but if the rook goes through, then it's not gonna fall. It's gonna fall all the way. Oh, that's what this platform is for. Aha. So when the... Okay, I'm not sure if I'm explaining this properly, but what I was thinking is that either they're both up or they're both not up. So if this one's up, then you can't pass through. But if it's not, then this one's not there either, so you can't go there. Right, that was my train of thought. But what you can do instead is after this one's not up, you can move the rook to this platform here. That's conveniently arranged at the same height as this. And then the king can step back on, and then you can go up here. Aha, so we just need to get the king there. I guess through this jumble, we would have to do this. And then go through. Make sure it doesn't fall into the void. Step on again. And then keep moving. And... oh my god. The king's... how do I get it not stuck? Because it can never go up here without someone to help. Oh, the rook could have helped. Wait, could it have? Yes, it could have by here. Like this, and then up here. And if the king was here, they could drop down and go up like this. Okay, I'm gonna do the exact same thing. And then stop after the king is like here. Alright, we're at that position, and now the rook can come up here. Wait a minute, how does it get up here? Oh yeah, we use this platform like this. There we go. And then this, and then the king can get around. That was tricky, but very clever. Okay, wait. And then the rook escapes because of this platform here. That's what this one is for. Because for the king, you don't even need that. You just go boom, boom. And for the rook, you use these twos. And then you need that platform to get here. That's what you need. And then we step on this. We use this platform. Like I said, the king steps off, and we go here. And then, oh wait, we don't step on because then it would just turn off. We have to go here. And then we step on and take the king. Nice. With that, we complete level 21. Level 22. Okay. There seems to be some pawns promoting. I can sense that these levels are getting harder. Third last level. We have 3 levels to go. Okay, well, I guess it would have to be a queen that could take the king. Because it has to go through the diagonals and through the straight rows. I mean, or it could be a knight, but then the knight would have to be here. Or here. And how in the world would it get there? I don't know, but it seems pretty obvious that these 2 bishops need to get out of here so that the pawn can promote. And this pawn is never going to be able to promote because there's a block here that's stopping it. The key unlocks these 2, which will unlock this bishop. Or free this bishop, I should say. And the purple thing will unlock these 2, which will free this one. So, which one is easier to get? Well, first of all, my king is kind of stuck. Oh, wait, it's not, because this is a platform. But now it's kind of stuck, isn't it? How would I get the... oh, wait, if I move this pawn out of the way... actually, wait a minute. I can get the king here and then the knight. Ah, and it falls. If only it didn't fall. Then we could just take the king immediately. But of course, that would be no level. For level 22. That would be like, I don't know, level 10. But falling is good because now we unlock this bishop. And we should probably try to get that key. It's just a matter of how. Wait. Oh, wait, we can just put it on this platform. And then get it up here like this. And then get the key. Okay. That was fairly simple. I'm wondering if we should save this. I'll just put it here. Interesting. So what do we promote the pawn to? If we get a queen, we could get down here. If we put the king all the way, we walk the king all the way here. And the queen comes in, it goes boom, boom, here. But then we would have to have another king. And none of the pieces... See, if it was here, then we would have to have the king also be here, so that we can go like this, and then get up here. But in order for the king to get there, we need another piece that would help the king get up there. But we don't have any pieces that can go through there, right? Because the bishop and the knight, this is like too narrow. So we have to get a knight. Because, look, we have 4 pieces we can promote to. The rook and the bishop there's no point in getting because, like, basically the queen is a rook plus a bishop. So if you get a bishop, you can get the same thing with the queen plus more. So there's no point in getting these 2. So we always promote to a knight or a queen. Hehe. In chess, you almost always promote to a queen. But in this game, you almost always promote to a knight or a queen, I guess. Actually, I can think of no chances where you promote to a bishop or a rook. But, okay. Anyways, so yeah, getting a queen is kind of pointless. So we have to get a knight. But then, how does the... Oh, wait, I guess if we got the knight here, then it could take the king. Oh, wait, that's actually really simple. We just move this bishop. We get the knight, put it here, and then it goes up like this. Wow, so that's why those 2 platforms are there. Nice. All right, 2 levels to go. This is level 23. Second last level of the game. Here we go. We have a whole bunch of promoting pawns. Actually, all of our pieces are promoting pawns. And I see that this board is divided into a bunch of regions. So we have to get some knights. Because look, this is 1 region, 2 region, 3rd one, 4th one, they're all connected, I guess, because of this, and 5th one. So there's 5 regions, plus this region, which has 1 block in it. So there's technically 6 regions that are completely separated from each other unless you get a knight, because only a knight can jump over blocks. So these 2 can't promote until we get a key, and this one can't promote until we get to this square. Okay, so we're gonna be promoting these, so I'm just gonna get both knights, because just getting the queen makes no sense, right? Because you can have 1 queen get up here, 2nd queen get up there, and then get the key. But then... Actually, maybe I should have got a queen. I don't know, but okay, let's see. We can get the key like this, and then we can promote this. Let's try to get this purple one, because I feel like this one is important because the pawn is on the same like region as the red king, so it would be more important. So let's try to get the purple one, knight, and then we would have to get here. Okay. There we go. Oh, I'm 1 short. So you need to have 3 knight stacks so you can get this. And it can go down here and then take the purple. So I need to get another knight. Okay. Oh no! Oh no, it can't move! Oh shoot! They purposely placed this block here so that the knight can't move. Like, these 3, they're part of, these designs or whatever. But, like, this block, the only purpose it has is to make sure I can't get a knight. That's... Wow, okay. That's pretty crazy. Okay, let me do the exact same thing I did before. Pretty quick, too, so I'm not gonna, like, pause the video. It's just this. We get a knight. And then we have to get a queen? Wait, I can just use this knight. What am I saying? Hold on. How do I do this? This knight can't escape? Wait, is there actually no way for this knight to escape? Wow. This knight is just trapped here. Okay. So yeah, we do have to get a queen. And then the queen can luckily escape because it's all 1 region. If there was like a barrier here and it was cut off, it wouldn't be possible because the queen couldn't make it through. But now it can, and then... Oh wait, we have to have a knight here. Okay. Redo. There we go. And now this knight gets over here, gets this one. It's funny because, like, you get all these knights and queens, and then some of them are just abandoned on the way. You get 2 knights. One of them is abandoned, so you can get 2 more. And then one of them is abandoned, so you can get this one. And then, let's see. If I get a knight, I would need 2 pieces stacked and then the knight in order to get the king. But if I get a queen, I would need 1 piece and then the queen to get the king, right? Because the queen can go like this while the knight has to do the diagonal, or 2 to 1. So yeah, I think it's better to get the queen, and we have to get a piece over here, specifically the knight, because the queen can never leave this region. And it has to be this knight because these 2 are stuck, as we said. Right? This one is stuck, and this one we saw that's stuck. So, this knight has to get over to help with the queen. Where did the... Oh no! The queen was on the purple square, and when I moved the knight off the purple square, it... Oh my god. I feel dumb for doing that. Alright, well, let's redo everything and not move off the purple square. Alright, promote to a queen. Let's move it here so that even if I move the knight, we don't lose the queen by accident. And then we need to get this knight over to this region. Has to be on this square to be precise. Or anywhere on this column, it'll just fall down. And then the queen can go down and take the king. Okay, so we just need the knight. I guess the queen would have to help. How would we do this? Queen here, knight. Okay, and then the queen has to move. And then the knight gets down here, and then the queen can do the final blow. Nice! Alright, with that, we only have 1 level remaining in the entire game. Level 24. Yeah, this does look hard. Yeah. What's going on here? Okay, this is really weird. It looks really weird. There's a key here. Why is the key all the way up there? How would I even get to that? I mean, I'm assuming I have to get it because, let's see, the king is here. The only way you can get to it is if a rook ever got up here, which is literally impossible because this region's cut off. Or a bishop can't get there, a knight can't get there, a king can't get there. So the only way this would be possible is if a knight got like here. But for that, you have to stack a tower, and how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 squares. And other than a knight, which is what we need on that top, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 pieces and 6 squares to stack. So we need to get all the pieces over here. Okay, well, first of all, we need to unlock the key, or else no pieces are getting this here, except for this rook that's already here. Well, I guess and the knights can get in like this. But other than that, no other pieces. And even if we get the key, how would the rook get up? Because one thing I've noticed about gravity chess, or Chessformer, is that the rooks are a lot less useful than you think they are, like in normal chess, because they can only move sideways. And if there's like no, like, you know, I can move through this platform, those things, then yeah, they're pretty much stuck on the bottom forever. So let's think about this. First we need to get the key. So I guess we would just stack the knights and get one up like this. But we would need a second knight. We would need 3 pieces here so that we can get the key. I see. We can get the bishop here and then get the other knight over like this. And then the third piece would have to be... Oh wait, we should probably make a tower on this side so that the bishops can get in like this. I'm 1 short, but I have an extra bishop, so it all fits in perfectly. Let's move this knight out of the way. Put the bishop there. And now we can get the key. Nice. Okay. Still very tricky though, because I'm not exactly sure how we get this rook over here. Let's see. And also, I'm not sure why we would need the purple thing. Right here. Let me just get this over for a second. How would we even get the knight would have to be here. Got it. So the rook has to come over to help. And then the knight goes on top of it like this. Yeah, what's the point of unlocking the purple thing? I mean, because the only way we can win is if the knight is here or here. So how's the purple thing gonna help? Also, now that the knight is here, we don't have 6 pieces anymore. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, excluding the knight. So we can't do this anymore. So that's just like a decoy. We basically never use that. Okay, interesting. I at least I hope it is, because if it isn't, then we might be in trouble. Also, how do we get this bishop out? Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how you get the other pieces out. What if we just reset everything? Hold on, how do I get the knight? Okay, I have to have the rook here and get the knight out like this. Let me just reset actually like everything, because you might be asking, what, this is just the same position as before? But no, it isn't. We made one step, one big step, actually one small step, but it's still good. We got rid of the key, so now these two are open. So it might look like the same position, but we've actually made a pretty decent step forward. I'm just resetting it so that I can get my brain to like think like how it would be at the start, except without the lock and key. Alright, I've been playing around with this for a while, and I came back to the position we were in before, when I paused the video. And what I was doing was basically, okay, let's see what I did. I got my knight across, both my knights actually, and I also got my bishops across in the same way that we did before. I got one of my bishops. Oh, but the knight has to be there. That's annoying. Hold on a minute. Let me fix this. Rook here. Knight here to get out. And then get out like this. And then we have to... Okay, fixing this takes like so long. Like if you do one wrong move, it takes forever to like reset it, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's do this. Bishop here. Get this here, so that the knight can get up here. And the other knight. It's taking so long. And then, how did I get the other bishop across? Somehow I got the other bishop. I got both bishops. I can't seem to do that anymore. Right, because one bishop you can get across like this, but the other one just is stuck. Okay, so what I noticed was that, like, there's this pathway here which is kind of suspicious, because, like, it would be perfect for a bishop to get in, but then there's no point in getting in. Also, let me get this bishop here really quickly, because it needs the knight's help to get across here. And then let me also get the knights in, like this. Right, if we just had 2 more pieces on top of this, like this bishop and this king or something like that, then, sorry, we would need all 3 pieces. We would need the bishop, king, and rook to go here, and then this knight could go on top over here. But how does that work? Because we can't do that. What about this? Okay, the bishop can get in here. And then we can plug this thing down. Very tricky. Very tricky indeed. Yeah, those people who were telling me that this was gonna be hard were very true. Very correct. For sure. This is the hardest level, and it's the hardest for a reason. It's because the last level of the game. So, I don't know. We might have to do another episode of this if it's taking me too long to figure it out. Because if you didn't know, I actually paused the video for like, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. And I haven't figured it out still. Hey, I just remembered how to get the other bishop. Wait, okay, we put the knight here. We get the other knight across like this. And then after we put the king on top, the bishop can now escape like this. And this knight can easily escape because we can just do this. And the knight can get over here. The one problem was that we need the knight to be here. So we would need it to... Hold on a minute. I have to get the king here, the rook, and the king, and then the knight. Because the knight has to be here for the bishop to get across like this. So we can get here pretty easily, but then we have to get the knight here so that the bishop can actually get over here. That's how I did it when I paused the video for like 10 minutes or so. Okay. That's pretty interesting. Very good. How do we get the king and rook though? Because if we don't get the king and rook, then I don't see how this is going to be possible. I mean... Okay, wait. Let me clear this part first. Big storm of pieces. Try to get them all out of here. All out of the rook's way. I want to move the rook here first. And then what if I get the knight? And I put the bishop here. And then I climb up here. That isn't very useful. Hold on, what if I go down a step and I go here? Yeah. How does this help though? I mean, my bishop can get over here super easily. Like this. But then it kind of gets trapped. I mean, like, there's nowhere it can go. So I can move the knight back. The knight would have to... Is there any way at all, other than the knight being here or here, that wins? Let's think about this. The rook can never get in through here, so it's impossible. The king... There's no way the king can win. If there is, I would be very surprised. Like, I know it's made for the king? Wait. Okay, wait, let's come back to that. The bishop, there's also no way because the king is right here and all of the diagonals are blocked off. So the bishop and rook, we know for sure it's not possible. And the knight, can it be the king? Yeah, maybe it can be the king. Hold on. Wait, I'm gonna shuffle all the pieces so that they get... Actually, wait, let me just restart. And then I'll do the thing that I need to do to get the lock going. We need to get the lock going here. And then this. And then we need to put the king all the way here. And then get the bishops going. And then get the knight on top of it. This is how you get the lock. And then let's put everything back where it goes. Literally everything. So that it's the exact same as the start. Except for the lock. And then, what if we build a tower so that the king is the one that gets through? Is this an insane idea? I mean, yes, it's definitely an insane idea, but like, is it gonna work? We can put the rook here to get the bishops to go like this. Wait a sec, if we just did this, but like these 6 pieces are mirrored, then the king, instead of going here, could go to this square, and then we could get it across. Hold on a minute. Here. Okay, let me do this in reverse. How do I do it in reverse? Oh boy. Okay, here. I can climb up here. And I can get them like this. I can make a tower to get the king across. That's insane. That's actually crazy. I never thought final level would have the king walking all the way through. And now it's really easy. All we gotta do is put the rook here. Okay, well, maybe not really easy, but I think I know how to do it. We just get the knights in. We get the other knight in. Like this. And then we get the bishop. Wait, how do you get the bishop, though? Oh, right. We have to move a knight down here. Okay, hold on. So we have to use the knight as the king. Because remember when we had a rook king? We put the 2 bishops and the 1 bishop gets out. We have to use the knight instead of the king. Because the king is being occupied over here. So we do this. We get the bishop in. The knight... Oh, wait. Can the knight even get in? Yes, the knight can get in so that the bishop can actually officially get here. And then we get the knight in. And then we do this. And then... Wait, we would have to do this. Oh, wait. Oops, I trapped the bishop in. Let me get the bishop out. And then we put the knights in. And then we put the bishop. The tower is here, so how would the king get across? Am I missing something? We've got so far. How did I... What? Is there... The king can go here. It can go here. It can go up here. It can go here. If I put the rook and knight like this. No way did I actually mess this up again. Okay, wait. What if I do the exact same tower right here? Is there any point in doing that? Or what if I do the same tower but like this? The king would come 2 squares. Wait a second. All we need is these 3. Because then the king could go boom, 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 boom. But then they would just fall down. I'm so confused. There has to be a way to do this. Boom. Stay. I'm not admitting that there's no way. Okay, we get the king here. Huge. Here. Oh, but if we move the knight there, then the king's gonna fall. Oh no. This is bad. I mean, I'm gonna do that at the end when the king is like up here. But I mean, it has to be the king because we ruled out the rook and the bishop. And the knight, it's just not possible because this rook is just gonna get stuck. Oh, we have to get this bishop too. Wait, is it even possible to get that bishop in? Hold on, wait a minute. Okay, let's get... Oh, it is! Because we have 2 knights, and they can act as the the bishop and the king. Oh my god, that's so clever. That's actually so insane. The two knights act as the rook and the bishop. That's crazy. So now all we have to do is this. And then the bishop gets in. Wait, but how would this knight? Oh, because we have a second knight. So the knight can help. And the bishop gets in too. So we need every single piece except for the rook, because the rook is the only piece that doesn't work. That is actually crazy. That's crazy. That's huge. How do I get the rook? Hold on. There we go. We're inching the rook forward. Okay. The king is going up. Boom. And we did it. The king is now officially up here. All now is press this button. And the king defeats the opposing king in the last level of the game. Thanks for playing. That was fun. It was a lot more fun than I expected, to be honest. I was thinking that this would just be some, boring game that's pretty similar to chess and there's not a lot of strategy, but boy, sure was I off. This was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for watching this. I hope you enjoyed. Nice little animation there. The knight goes boom, 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 boom. Bishop goes boom, 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 boom. And the rook goes boom, 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 boom. And they have platforms for the rook. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. I had a lot of fun recording this. And yeah. So, I'll see you guys in the next one. Please let me know how it was in the comments. And yeah. Bye. Like and subscribe.